Welcome back to On the Line. I'm your host, as always, Juan and Ryan, my partner in crime, the Ryan Ryan knows, and getting some of these key matchups right now.
Yeah.
And areas of focus, because it's really not so much about the matchups, although that's an important factor in this. But in looking at this game, looking at these teams, what's one of the key matchups you think is the most important, and what's an area of focus that you feel is important for ASU to stop the Cougar offense?
I think that the ASU DBs really need to have a bounce-back game. I mean, I guess this, kind of young receiving core that the Cougars have, because I mean they got worked a little bit against USC, especially with not so much. They were able to contain Robert Woods. He really wasn't a factor in this game, but yeah, Marquise Lee just really went off against them. And I think this is a good opportunity for Devron Carr to bounce back. Really, he had kind of what I would feel would be a subpar game against USC. I think that for them to bounce back and really have a strong game and contain that passing attack that Washington State can bring, I think is very crucial for this matchup. And both these quarterbacks are pocket passers and really don't move around a whole lot. ASU, the front, really needs to apply some consistent pressure against this shaky offensive line. They've allowed 40 sacks on the year.
It's 4 per game now. It's brutal.
Really forced Toole and Halliday into bad decisions. Because ASU, they showed last week that they could force turnovers with some consistency. So if they can continue to do that and give their offense better opportunities, this game could be over very quickly. So hopefully that's the case on Saturday.
Right, and my key matchup is very simple. Jackson Hood has been showing a lot of improvement. Mike Pennell's no longer with the team. Will Sutton's 100% healthy. To me, a key matchup and something we need to keep an eye on in this game, because it could be what breaks the game open and may even lead to a shutout, is Will Sutton and Jackson Hood against John Fullington, Elliott Bosch, and Matt Gutz. That's the interior of the Wazoo offensive line. These guys have just not been able to get anything going as far as blitz, a one-on-one pass rush. These guys are going to have their hands full, and it can get ugly and it can get out of control really fast. And I think if I'm Coach Randolph, I'm focusing on the blitz, man. That's what I'm coming after you. Set the tone early, get in their face right away. Like you said, Toole, Holiday, get them on their backs, get them thinking, force bad decisions right away, and push the tempo to them. Make the defense set the tempo on them and have them on their heels. This game, in my opinion, needs to be a shutout.
All right.
Anything less than that, it's a disappointment.
I don't think we can be talking about shutout because
we got the potential for it.
I think that
we need to shut them out right now.
Just a solid. I'd take a solid defensive performance at this point. I would take a win at this point. That's all I'm really looking for going into Saturday.
Well, I say shut out because what happened last season. You got to shut these guys out. You got to embarrass them. You got to put your foot in their throat and crush their heads.
That would be
nice.
What you got to do. That would be nice, but I'm not. I really just don't think that they can do that for 4 quarters. They really haven't shown their ability to be able to do that.
It's Wazoo.
So don't get me wrong. I'd love to see one, but I just don't think it's in the cards necessarily. I just don't know that Wazoo can be silenced like that for 4 quarters, especially with the way that they move the ball around the yard. But I think that it is important that this front have a good game, keep that consistent pressure, and show that they can do it against anybody.
Absolutely, and I go back to the shutout just for the standpoint that this team has given up over 40 points for the last 4 weeks. Obviously, they throw 38 points to SC, but UCLA, they give up over 40 points.
Yeah.
Oregon scored in the high 30s. Oregon scored in the 40s.
They scored in the 40s before halftime.
So they're giving up a lot of points, and I want to see them finally just play that one game where they just completely snuff someone out. So that's what
would do a lot for their confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for this section as far as key matchup and focal points of the game. Now, when we get back, let's start talking about that Cougar defense, and let's talk about the ASU offense, which has been, it just hasn't been all it's been cracked up to be. So we'll get back and talk about those issues coming right back.